This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's talk about backups first. One topic by topic I'll finish today, and then we will talk and like wind up discussions after that. Sure, guys. Mongo backup automation and cleaning up the existing old backups. Okay. So where I'm going to take the backup, you have to define directories where you want it to take the backup. So where MongoDB and let's see what on the first, sorry, CD where. Okay. So here, if we see these are the directories are there. Now, if I go inside the backup and we have these many files, there are three files. Assume a case that mm, let me create one directory with a script, our script. This was discussed with script anyway on that day. I'm going to do this. I'll run this script. This is going to create the directory, a new directory with the current time. Okay. So LSF and L, it created one directory just now. You see this 12/7? So 12/12, right? Sorry, yeah. December 12/7/3. This is the right now, it just created this folder. I wanted to archive all this using our script. Okay. The script is this. The script it is going to delete the files older than 3 days basically. Okay. You have to keep in the same scripting mechanism. Anyway, what this is, the value I given is very higher. So I'll make it maybe, like a 300 minutes. 300 minutes means 5 hours. So if I execute this command anywhere, if I execute this command anywhere, it will go into where MongoDB backups. It look for the directories which are aged more than 300 minutes and delete it. So if I run this command in the same directory or anywhere, if I run this, the user who is running that need to have a permission first. So this Mongo user have a permission on this complete MongoDB directory where we are sitting it. So if you see in the MongoDB directory, Mongo are owning it. So now if I execute this particular command, oh come on, did not copy it. What does it do? It will delete all these folders, leaving this behind. Why? Because I'm saying that whatever the folder is older than 5 hours, it is more than, see, last night 11:23 something it was. So if I go and see, if I run this, oh come on, just not again, I copied it wrong. This is a command which does the cleanup of the backups automatically. I'm just showing you the folders to clean up so that you understand it when we automate. If I run this, what is left behind is only one folder, this folder. So this command is going to delete the backup directories based on the age of the directory. So in the command, what we are trying to keep 3 days worth of data, 3 days worth of backups, it is going to keep. It is a full dumps. Basically, we are taking the full dumps and capturing it every night of every standalone server, basically. So I'm going to pick up this complete script. Okay. And see, what was the problem last time? And I figured it out. It was not calling the binary. You have to give the complete binary location. It is not detecting this binary in the script actually. So this is where where MongoDB setup and the setup directory bin, and this is where the Mongo dump exists basically. You take out the complete script. Okay, it's so simple actually. So now what I'm going to do first, uh, I'm going to create one file. Let's come back to the original location. So here we are. Now I'm going to create a executable file. Okay, vi, what do we call, backups, auto backups. Let's call it as auto backups dot sh. You have to, anything you wanted to make it executable, Generally, we'll keep it as .sh. sh is a kind of extension for executable files we give it. So vi auto backups, it will open the file. Now I'm going to paste this output there. Okay. So now what happened? Why it did not copy everything? Just a minute. I have to copy completely. Anyway, let me take out and repaste. Anyway, I can only replace the first lines also. Anyway, let's do it. Oh, it was not copied. Right, it's copied now. So this is what we are building it. This first logic is going to build a directory, and second logic is going to take the backup inside that directory. We are passing the directory what it is building basically. See, it is forming the date format directory, and under this directory it is going and preparing the directory with the date, like date, month, date, year, hours, minutes, seconds. This format it is going to build a directory. So month, day, year, and hours will be first part, hyphen, and minutes, hyphen, seconds. This is how it will create the directory every time. Okay. And every time you run the backup, it will build a new directory, and this is going to clean up the directories older than 3 days automatically. It takes the backup, it deletes the backup after 3 days. So now I'm going to save this script as it is. This was given already. It is there in the backup second module. I have forwarded this document to everyone. Okay. So we were trying to do on that day. It was not working because the binary was not calling in the background. So now we need to make it executable first. So this is what it is not executable yet. So chmod is not using sudo because he is owning this file. See, Mongo R is owning the file. Someone else is owning it. So sudo can change the like file permissions. I'm going to give 7, okay, 1 1. Uh, Everyone should execute it here. 711 auto backups. If I do this, lsf and l, it is executable file now. Now what I'm going to do, if I wanted to run that one, dot slash auto, you run this one. Before I run this, what I'll do, backups. How many files we have? One file, one file I have it, right? So I'll run that. I'll execute it first and check it first how it is working. We can run it manually. It is dumped all the data. So now I'll go inside the backup and check it. See, it is created. It is just created December 12, 710. This is the one. Sorry guys, just a minute. Now let's automate it. So we have the file here where MongoDB backups. This is where we have. And what was the file name? The file name is this. Oh, come on, not here. So we have, this is what it is our, right? I have to automate this. How do I automate? Also, we talked about the schedulers and all on that day. Okay. I'm quickly doing it. Cron tab is the one which is going to automate, and go for the editing it, edit. We have one schedule. So here, what is the time? Time is, you see, 7:11:32. First minutes will come. So I'll make it this one 2. 12 is going to about to hit. So 13 minutes and 7 hours. Day of the month. You see this thing, guys. I'm not going to put this one. Anyway, let this be, and then we'll check it, and I'll talk about the schedules quickly. So here, where MongoDB auto backups dot sh. We are calling that at this schedule it is going to run. So 13 is going to trigger. I'm going to save this. So now, if you wanted to see what are the cron jobs are configured for this user, cron tab -l. This will give the complete job list what he created. This is going to run 7 hours 13 minutes. It is going to trigger. So it is going to trigger in next 30 seconds or 27, 25 seconds. And before it is triggering, I'll go inside the backups directory. Okay, where I am right now. CD backups. So you see there will be one more folder it will create with a 7:13 minute, right? 7:03 this one, 7:10, next 7:13 it will build a folder. See it is triggered 7:13 now. Now LSF and L there will be one folder 7:13. See here it is 7:13. Okay. Now second is 7:13 first second. Now if you go inside the directory here, all backups have been generated. See, all database backups have been generated. We have only see it won't pick up the local database, config database, and temp also. I discussed why it is not pick up those databases. Only admin database it will pick up. We discussed this part. Only the part was not working was we scheduled also. The automation was not taking the backup. Now it is taking the backup. Now these folders will clean up automatically when these becomes 3 days older. The folder become deleted after 3 days. It becomes 3 days. The script, the cleanup script also we kept it in the that file. This is going to delete the folders after 3 days because this value is equivalent to this is in minutes. Okay, this is in minutes. So 3 days into 72 hours into 60. Then this is the value you get it. You place it how many days you wanted to keep the backups. Based on that many minutes you give it. Based on that it is going to delete the directories, and this is going to take the backup every day. So take the backup first, then removal next. Okay, that way it should be. So this is what about the backup automation, and the schedulers we talked about. So see guys, what is the procedure quickly, if at all? I'll recap it quickly. We created a file .autobackup.sh, and in that I paste the script in it. Okay, then I change the file to executable. Then what did I do after that? I executed once manually, then tested it. It worked well. Then I placed into the one automated job. So cron job schedules anyway we talked about. Uh, so this is what the format it will call. First part is the minutes always. See minutes of the hour. How many minutes now? 7:15. You keep it 15, it will trigger automatically. 15th minute, and this one is the hour of the day. 23 hours. It is 0 to 23 hours format. Like if you are going to 11:25 in the night, 11 and 25 minutes. This minutes of the hour, this minutes of the hour of the day, and this is the day of the month. And which day you want it to trigger? Only on particular day only of the month. Maybe if I give it 15th, see example. If I'm keeping the value, we discuss the schedule sample schedules also on that day. See, I discussed this schedules, right? Go and check. We discussed the schedule part also. How we can pick up? It is giving clear cut diagram for us on which dates, on which hour, which minutes you want it to run, basically. So this is something you need to keep in mind. Let's move to a different topic quickly about memory management in MongoDB. So MongoDB is memory intensive. Okay. Troubleshooting we discussed. We only need to talk about how MongoDB occupy the internal memory of the system. This is important. Example. Mongo actually, especially Mongo is very memory intensive product, especially. You have to, if the data is keep growing, you have to keep bump the memory. That's how it is. If you don't bump, then it will get slowed down. Why it is slowed down? What is the architecture it has? Let's talk about it. Example, this is a machine and you have 128 GB RAM in the machine. Okay, this is a RAM of 128 GB RAM. So how it will divide the RAM? How MongoDB is going to occupy this much of RAM for its internal purpose? There is a formula for it, guys. There is a formula on the MongoDB website itself. If you see here, starting from 3.4 onwards, this formula is going to work anyway. The white tiger internal cache is larger than either. See, there is something called in Mongo two cache memories, two cache memory caches. These are all. It will divide the RAM into two portions basically, two portions within the RAM itself. One portion is called internal cache, next portion is file cache. I'll tell you what is the difference between these. It will divide the RAM into two parts, internal cache and this is called file cache. Okay, file cache. So now how much it is going to occupy for the internal cache and the file cache. File cache anyway, the rest of the RAM it will always pick up if required. But internal cache, this is something you need to understand. Internal cache always it will take based on the formula, based on the amount of RAM you have it. So there is a formula for this always. I see this is a formula it will follow in the background. This is a formula it will follow in the background. If you see this formula, what it is going to occupy? Come on, I'll explain it. Don't worry. This is something you need to know. 50% of the RAM minus 1. So what is the RAM we have here? 128. 128 here, complete RAM you have to supply. 128 GB minus 1. So it becomes 127. 127 of 50%. So 127 divided by, like if you take it 127, 63.5. You get the here in the internal cache you get the 63.5 GB is given to the internal cache. See guys, if you wanted to understand this, see, this is what they are trying to ask: allocate the sufficient RAM and CPU to the machine basically. Okay, so what they are talking about, starting from 3.4, default Mongo White Tiger internal cache is larger or either if you don't have, example, if you don't have more than 4 GB or 3 GB on the machine, Mongo will pick up 250 MB by default. You run just if it runs it internal cache, indexing cache. We're talking about the internal cache only right now. File cache I'll pick up next. So internal cache by default will pick up the 250 MB. 250 MB. See, for example, system is having 4 GB on. Just assume a case. We have 4 GB of RAM on the machine. How much the Mongo is going to use? White Tiger will use, see, 1.5 GB. How do I say 1.5 GB? Let's apply the formula. 4 GB we have, right? Here you change the value to 4 GB. 4 in minus 1, how much? 3. 3 of 50%, how much? 1.5. That is what they are saying it here. 1.5 GB RAM. If you have 4 GB, Mongo internal cache will use 1.5 GB out of 4 GB because they are following with this formula. See here, 50% means 0.5. 4 minus 1, 4 GB minus 1 GB, 3 GB. 3 GB into half. Half means 50% of 3 GB, 1.5 only, right? So that way it is going to use a system internal. For example, I'll ask one question. I have 300 GB. How much internal cache will use? Tell me anyone. 300 GB. How much internal cache will use? It's a question. It's a question, guys. You guys there? 300 GB I have on the machine. How much internal cache will be used out of 300 GB?
149.5.
Yeah, exactly. Very
48.
good answer. That's correct. 149.5. That's a nice answer. Very nice answer. So
Ravi, that means that 1 GB is for OS, it's mine as well.
not for OS, that is a formula generally. One, yeah, see, Linux will run with 1 GB. 1 GB is enough for it, basically, for OS process. Windows, it's not like Windows. It does not take too much of RAM. But anyway, uh, it's not like 1 GB only. This is something internal cache. Internal cache, why we need that big RAM? The big RAM, we need it for the indexing data. So internal cache is fully used for the only index data only. All of your indexes, it always try to keep your index values in the memory itself. It does not, you have in the disk, okay, but whenever you create an index, the complete index data will sit in the RAM only. That's what the MongoDB nature. Whenever I'm trying to read the data, first it need an index to pick up the good execution plan, right? All indexes, if you have a RAM, all indexes, it is trying to keep all of all collections, all databases, indexes, it is trying to keeping in the internal cache. If someone is trying to read, the indexing references are readily available for the execution. It does not go to the disk and read the indexes and prepare the execution plan. It does not wait for that. IO to give the indexes and index, it will look for, then pick up the data where it is sitting. Index scan collections can be discussed in detail in the profiling concept. So internal cache is only dedicated for the Mongo indexing, only indexing. It won't use for any other purpose, only indexing. So the what is a file cache then? File cache is whatever the data you are processing, all data will be processed through the file cache memory. Internal cache is absolutely for the indexing. File cache is for only for the data processing. That way it will divide the memory. Mongo by default will divide the memory into two parts, internal cache and file cache. Internal cache, what it does, whatever the indexes you are creating on the whole system, whole Mongo D instance, not specific to one index or one collection, one database kind of, it is all databases, all indexes, whatever you create, it will try to create all indexing data in the internal cache for the better performance. Because Mongo deals with large volume of data. When you are creating the indexes will sit in the memory. If someone is trying to read index, you have readily in the memory, it will prepare the execution plan immediately and pick out the data out of the system. It does not wait for anything, because indexing are the direct pointer to the data. It does not go to the scan. It directly go to the where the data is sitting and pull out and give it the data to who is asking. That's how the Mongo indexing will help for the faster performance in the product in the background. You don't define this. This is defines RAM. This formula defines how much RAM internal cache is going to pick up. But does it occupy 63.5 memory by default without utilization of index? No. If you have maybe out 10 GB indexes, assume a case, one on 128 GB RAM, it will occupy 10 GB only. Other RAM it won't occupy. It can go up to, this is the amount of RAM it can go up to when indexes are keep created and data is growing and you're adding more collections, more indexes you're adding. And it goes up to 63.5 MB of indexing data. If it is filled out, what happens? The frequently utilized indexes it will keep in the memory, the old one will be dropped. It won't accommodate because you're exceeding the storage, the memory size, what is Mongo is giving you based on this formula. It will follow the formula in the background. You don't need to worry. It always follow the formula. You don't need to mention anything for this. But how it is uses, that is what you need to understand, especially. You guys following? For file cache, there is no restriction. Whatever is left from the after the internal cache, the left will be taken by the file cache. That's how it is. And MongoDB, the good nature of MongoDB is it uses the memory, any product, not only MongoDB, even SQL Server also same behavior. It takes all the RAM if it required. Once the activity is over, the RAM is released, it will be in a free state. If some OS process is running, it need extra RAM, it will give it to the OS process automatically. Because it it requesting the memory, more memory for its execution, and the Mongo is not using the memory, it will give it basically. And if your data is keep growing, the indexing cache also you have to increase to make the performance good basically, if it is fully occupied, right? So this is something fully, like a automated way. You don't have control on this one. You cannot change this formula. This formula will always follow in the background. And this is for the internal cache. File cache, you don't have any formula. Whatever is left with the left of the RAM, the complete RAM will be used for the data processing. Any questions? This is what memory architecture of Mongo. Nothing else. Let anybody have question, let me know. No one have any question? See guys, let me tell you this. 4 GB you have it, it is going with 1.5 GB. Conversely, a system with a total of 1.25 GB, assume a case you have 1.25 GB itself, then how it follows? It takes a minimum 256 MB. If you don't follow this formula, see, if it is 1.5 GB, what happens? 1.5 minus 1, 2.5. 2.5, 50%, how much it will become? It is 128 MB, but it does not take 120 MB. Minimum is 256 MB. If the calculation is going below 250 MB, it will take the 250 MB by default. It does not follow the formula. See, I have on the 1.5 GB only on the machine. I'm giving it to the VM. Then it is not following this, 256 MB. We are not getting. We are only getting 128 MB. So in that case, it will take directly 256 MB. It does not do the formula. It will not do the mathematics in the background. Mathematics will be skipped, and minimum 256 MB will be taken by the Mongo. Any questions? That's all about memory architecture. Any questions you have it? Let me know. Based on that, I'll talk. What happened, guys? All are silent today. I guess all are clear or not following anything.
Yeah, clear, Ravi. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough.
So
That's
that what about
mm,
that secondary replica, Ravi? Like it's the same, right? Or-
a second replica. Any replica Mongo. This is what is architecture of the memory. Whatever the replica, whatever it is, Mongo D, and it follows this formula. Internal and file cache. Internal cache is purely for the indexing data. File cache is purely for the data processing. That's how it is. So again, Mongo indexing internal cache does not occupy all the this is calculating, and it knows internally, okay, this is the RAM I can go up to. I have only 10 GB index, it will occupy only 10 GB, rest will be used for the other processes. As it keep indexing coming up, and it will keep occupying the storage because it is authorized to occupy that storage. Clear? Everyone? What happened, Biren? Yeah, clear, right, Biren? Everyone?
So how about that backup restore, Ravi? So those are OS commands, right? So will that use the memory from here, or
No,
that will be using from OS?
that I see if it is example, good question. Internal cache is completely occupied by index, and this is occupied, that's it. What is left is only file cache. File cache is free to use the backup. It will use for the backup, like if it is processing the backup, it need CPU, more CPU, not the memory. It is processing the data directly there. It is not loading into buffer all the data at a time and processing it. It will process based on the input, how much it can write at that moment. So anyway, the backup operation will take more CPU than the RAM. Basically, RAM also will be taken, but not that much. So the process will use the file cache uh, memory. If this is indexing cache is full out, it will use this memory. This memory is for everything. File cache memory is for everything. It's not for file cache only. If file cache is occupying the storage, which means that you need to bump the memory because they are processing more data. You created efficient indexes, still memory system is going out of memory. That means you have a lot of data, and the memory has to be upgraded. If it is going under memory pressure, though you followed all the standards. That's the reason what do? We run the backup on the remote server so that the remote server will take the load of CPU, and this will take the IO power basically when we take the backups. Okay, that way it is.
Ravi,
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
how do we identify there is a memory pressure, and is there any common issues related to memory, like memory leak or something
Uh,
like that?
we do have this. We discussed Mongo start. This come on, sorry. Two commands we have for this. Mon Okay, it need authentication. Come on. We discussed this yesterday, but quickly I'll pick up. So when you run this command is going to tell you immediately memory pressure is there or not on the machine. So if you see total 12 commands it is running at the moment, total command count, and how many inserts updates are going on? No inserts updates per second. How many inserts, how many queries, how many updates, how many deletes are going per second? And you see this virtual memory. This is what this machine is picked up. 1.32 GB is picked up by MongoDB, but actual memory, how much it is using? 350 MB only. This is a calculated memory. This is used memory at this moment. And how many queries are went into the blocking? How many queries are executing? Only read query is going on the Mongo stat. And how much of like network IO it is generating inside the machine and outside the machine. So this will give you a fair idea whether what is the RAM I have on the machine again. If I wanted to know, free M, go with M. This will tell you total memory you have on the machine. Total I have given to this machine 283 GB I have given to 2837 MB I have given to this machine, the memory. Right now the overall memory use 550 MB on the OS level. Two See, buffer cache total available is 2061. So out of 2837, 2 GB is free right now. It is not under pressure. This will tell you free -m will tell you how much RAM under use, how much RAM is available basically. And this command is going to tell you how much Mongo is trying to use 3.3 1.32, and but actually in nature it is using 350 MB. And what is actually consuming memory again? What collection taking memory on the machine? Mongo top. This is another big so useful command. If you run this, which collection is taking the most memory here right now? So all are, see, this chunk is taking these many minutes, these many milliseconds, writes are going on, reads are going on at so and so time. So these commands will help you out to understand what Mongo is occupying at the moment, how many sessions are going into the blocking because of the resources, because of the IO, because of whatsoever, and what sessions are taking most of the time. What not session? What are the collection? What are the queries are running on what collection, taking more total reads and more total writes at that moment, at that right moment. It's not historical data; it's a live data what it is giving you. So based on that, we understand what is actually causing the issue kind of. You need to enable the profiling on the particular database. It is giving the database name, collection, and enable the profiling immediately, like go with one, not two. Two is going to trace every query that is going to make it, right? Set profiling level to one. And slow arms, if you wanted to change, you have to change it before itself. Set slow arms level to slow arms equal to 5000 seconds or 5000 milliseconds. The value is in 5000 milliseconds, 5 seconds. If you wanted to go for the higher values, that is seconds value, not for so milliseconds, second value. 100 seconds, you wanted to go with the five, how many, maybe you wanted to check the queries which are running for 5 minutes, 5000 milliseconds. Come on, it is in the slums actually. It will be in the form of, let's do it, it is in milliseconds. It will be in milliseconds. We discussed all of those. You guys remember? Show DB use lab DB dot get profiling level, right? 0 and status. So slow arms are 100 millisecond by default. And if you wanted to change, set profiling level 1 comma the flower bracket slow arms equal to whatever you wanted to keep it. So that will trace out the query and then give you the what query is consuming on the particular collection, so much of resources. That way you have to conclude it. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, Ravi. And any
Okay.
memory leak issues or anything are observed related to memory?
Here there is no memory leak in Mongo. It takes all the RAM. There is no like you are restricting it to file cache something. It's not a SQL Server. See, you're running the SSIS package, you're running the reports. They are not come into a SQL Server side. Basically, SQL servers, if you take it, we are giving the memory restriction to SQL Server, but not the packages, but not the reporting. They run out of the memory. That is called memory leak for the SQL Server. But here in the Mongo, there is no memory leak concept. It is using the internal cache, the rest of the RAM for the data, all the RAM, based on the capacity of the system and what the people are trying to read. If they're reading really high amount of data all the time, you have to bump the memory. That is the only option you have it. The ratio, if you take it 1 TB RAM, 1 TB data, you're on the busy system is recommended of 400 GB RAM. This is a ratio, 40% of your data of the RAM. That is Mongo text. If you have a 2 TB data and high busy system, the maximum recommended memory is 800 GB to get the good performance. That is the recommendation ratio. 40% of your data should be a RAM in the Mongo, so that it processes the data on high loads also. It performs well. What happened? Can you guys hear me actually?
Yes,
Guys, can
yes,
you hear me?
Ravi.
Okay, fine. This is what it is, guys. RAM is something. The MongoDB is memory intensive product. You have to allocate the proper memory to it. That's it. Nothing else I can say. Any other questions on the memory part? Okay. If not, let's move to the cloud migration. I'll create one VM in the cloud quickly. You have to create your own subscriptions to create the VM, but I'm going to show it. I'm not going to talk about how we can create your subscriptions and all that. I train on the Azure side as well. So if you need it, I can send one video like how do you create your subscriptions and all, because I train on the people on the Azure SQL DB as well. Why the heck this is coming up? Right, I'm going to quickly create one Linux machine here in the cloud. What the heck? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one virtual machine. What the heck? What is happening with my machine? I'm creating one. Come on, it's not muting. What happened? What what happened? All are playing out of what? Okay, fine, whatever it is. So I'm creating one virtual machine, guys. Linux virtual machine. I'm going to form the replication and we will see how we can migrate to the cloud. Okay. The VM name is called VM01. I'm just calling it West India region. I'm creating a CentOS server of 8.2, we have only 8.2 it seems, which is fine, not an issue. And I'm going to give 2 GB, 2 CPs, 4 GB RAM to the machine and password based authentication on the VM. Fine, that's all. SSH must be opened. Disk premium. I'm creating a server in the cloud. Okay. All right. We created a server. Then we'll pick up the Atlas after it. Okay. Before this, what I'll do, let's talk about how do we start the server in on-prem. So this is a file, Windows file. I'm going to take out all of this. We don't need it. So we're giving the storage, a storage DB path where the data directory, and general enabled. You need this? You don't need it basically. In from 2.2 onwards, 3.2 onwards, you don't need to enable the generals like this. You enable it, you don't enable it, you'll enable it by default. That's the nature of White Tiger. Okay. So White Tiger engine by default anyway. And way to load the log, system log, just destination log append path and the net, which port the Mongo has to listen. Maybe I'll give it uh, 27030 something, and who has to connect? Everyone has to connect. This is I'm defining for Windows. It is like Linux only, nothing much difference. So a replication role. Okay, let's make this VM ready, cloud VM. This will I'm trying to connect to the VM with the Mongo also. What port I am going to use? That port I have to open here, 27030. No, Mongo side, this side, what do we need to use? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect to this machine. It is like again quick configuration, guys. So I'm connecting to that cloud VM. This is a cloud VM server IP. I'm trying to connect. So it is connecting. I have Ravinder user. When I created, I have added this user on the cloud. I'm connecting to the server. Okay, it is connected. Okay, df-h file system. You see this one, and where we have some space to work with. Root 6.5 GB here. On the root, I'm not going to attach a new drive. I'll just utilize what we have right now. And the dev also, we have a good amount of space. Anyway, let's do it on this one for our discussion. 2 GB is enough for our size is 2 GB and 2 GB is available. Let's go into insert that. So I'll create one service account, guys, quickly. User add, first group add. The same thing again, nothing else. Sudo. I'm a sudo. Anyway, sudo group add. Okay, DBA group. I'm adding it. It is done. Sudo user add MongoDB username. Let's call it as like that. Okay. Then sudo passwd password set for MongoDB. Okay. You must do this, right? This is service account preparation. We discussed all of the basics, right? Now user is created. Next what? Directory preparation. cd dev. We have dev, right? Dev directory. I'm going to use it here. There are a lot of things. Fine. Anyway, we will create one directory. Sudo mkdir mongodb. Okay, it is created. Now I'm going to pick up the ownership on this mongodb directory. Where is it? It here by owned by root. I'm going to give that to MongoDB user and DBA group. So sudo ch1, right? And what was the username? MongoDB. Group is DBA and directory name is MongoDB. You see this now? MongoDB directory is owned by MongoDB, right? Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go use that user and let's build etc also. cd etc sudo mkdir mongodb. Here also let's build one directory and the same command under this directory. I'm giving this. We are under etc only right now, and I'm running the same command. It will give the directory permissions. Now I'll go with this guy, MongoDB. These are all known things. We did all of this. Nothing to discuss much on this one. We're going to the elementary again, kind of. Dev Mongo. This is where anything you can do it directly. mkdir data log and setup. 3 directories. You see, 3 directories have been done. Now I'll go inside the setup. I'll download the binaries quickly to form the cloud side thing. What we are going to do in on-prem is 4.0. I'll pick up the 4.0 and it is CentOS. Our case is CentOS. CentOS, it was 8.2. Red Hat CentOS 8.0 OS. You have to pick up that and pick up this zip file, copy, and go to this machine. It's a cloud machine where we are doing. Duplicate, enter. So it is downloading. Right. What next is required here? LSFNL. We need to extract first. tar xvf and Mongo. Now we need to prepare the environment variable, right? So cd bin. This is where we have the Mongo binaries pwd, and you can prepare the environment variable using that bin only. cd etc profile d lsfnl, right? Here vi mongo.sh. Okay, what was that we prepared? I'll just copy it. I'm taking up the format, nothing else. Okay, this format here, vi insert mode, shift insert, it'll copy and get this directory and paste. So we are pointing to the local directory, right? Sorry, I have not used sudo. I have to use sudo vi. Ravinder sudo, but he has to use that. Insert mode. Get this. Load it. Insert mode. Shift insert. Where the binary exists in this server is this. You guys following, right? This we have done many times, not once. Right? Right. Now what I have to do, sudo chmod, make this executable by everyone. So 711 I'll keep it. And mongo.sh. So this is enough. This is enough now, right? Now I'll log off this guy session and log in. Now we prepared and everything. So what we need is etc mongodb. Here I need that file, right? Replication. We have on this one mongo, or I'll pick up the replica config cd etc mongo sfnl, right? Cat mongo 1. We just need this up to this sharding. Anyway, let me pick up everything. And here I'm going to vi mongodb.conf insert mode, enter it. Okay, shard role we don't need it here, sharding role. Why? Because the rest are all fine. We need a system log, we need process management, we need the storage, replication, we need SRS1. SRS1, what you keep in here, there also in the on-premise also you have to keep match same thing. Then only it will join. And the port is 27017 is fine. And what else need it? Directories we need to change. Directories are actually dev. These are all under dev. You guys following? Dev mongodb /log. And here, come on, dev mongodb data. That is what we created, right? Cd dev mongodb data and log. Okay, log. Right. This is all we needed for the replication, right? Looks good to me. SRS1 is replica role name, and the small one I don't need to slash, and that's all. Right, it is done. So is it calling Mongo? Oh, it's not calling. Why? Uh, it is not calling Mongo. Come on, not found. Okay, I guess I did later on. I'll take out this. I don't need this. Let's reconnect. MongoDB, Mongo. What? Not properly configured or
Maybe
what?
Mongo user is not owning that directory or what?
No, 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 not. It's not about the directory. It's a binary, right? This binary.
Mm.
Just a minute, we'll verify it. What's wrong here?
You added path.
Yeah, I did path actually. Okay, let's see what is the mistake we have done. Oh, permission denied. Sudo cat path dev. This dev is not accessible or what? This system mount. Okay, this looks good actually. This is correct only. This is system. We're not supposed to use this, but we don't have space. Anyway, I can do another way. The same thing. I'll go inside that directory. We can call the Mongo manually. We can do that. So what I'll do, if it is not accepting that way, dev Mongo setup by Mongo binary. This is where we have the binaries. I'll call the Mongo binary manually. Mongo, see Mongo, just I'm calling Mongo, it loading the shell. So we need to keep in different directory. That is what in the real world that we discussed already in the on-prem. Dev directory, if it is not accepting to, it is given, the things are proper, but the user is not able to detect, means some permission issue, is not able to execute this under this dev profile D. Anyway, I'll start the Mongo D, okay, -f etc mongo f. Let's start it. It has a replica role SRS something, right? In it. It started fine. Now I need to prepare my local Mongo on my local machine. See, VM to VM I cannot do it. VM won't talk to the cloud. VM does not ping this cloud VM. That's there. That drawback is there. So if I go to here and go to my local, this one, let's ping it what it says. Does it ping? It won't ping the data. VM to cloud VM won't talk. Local machine will talk to that IP basically. It won't talk, just not giving anything. But Mongo, this, let's see, is it connecting? It's my, it is not connecting. But from my shell, okay, it won't connect because we did not enable the port 27017, the port what we have used in the config. 27017. I had to open the port to make the communication. Okay, any to any 27017. Let's see it. If this is able to talk, we'll form the replication to this machine to that machine. Okay, it is done. Okay, so now I'm going to check that communication, how really it's calling that or not. Not from here. Oh, it is connecting. Excellent. If this is connecting, I can do it from here itself, huh? Good enough. So how we can migrate from this VM to cloud server? That's the topic. So now what I'm going to do, I had to form the replication here as well. So stop Mongo first. Mongo is running. I'll connect to the Mongo. Yes. User admin db.shutdown server. Take it off. DC Mongo. Cat VI. Let's do the VI. MongoDB Okay. Replication disabled. Security also I disable. I don't want the security here because we need that file again, the key file. So that will make a lengthy discussion. Come on, what happened? Keep this is off and replication should be enabled. But replica shit name should be SRS1. In the cloud, what we kept, you must keep the same here as well. SRS1 to join that. Okay. What else we need? Let's take out this not to confuse. We are migrating from on-premise to cloud. That's topic. Okay. System log, data, and replication role. The small file is not required. That's all. 27017 SRS1. In the cloud side also we kept the same thing. If you go to here, there's a cloud server, guys. SRS1. This both should be matched. Then only it will tag SRS1, which is good. Right. I'll go to and start the Mongo. Started. Mongo, I did not enable the security, so it will connect quickly. Show DBs, it will show the DBs as well. All right, not master, not slave. What I have to do? rs.initiate because we added the right. We added the replica role. That is why it is asking. So if I do it, other secondary primary, it is primary. Now this is a cloud machine. We have a cloud Mongo in the cloud. We connected. We tried to connect from this machine. It is connected. So which is good to connect. So now it's on my local machine again. Mongo or whatever it is. We are trying to connect to the cloud machine. The cloud machine is this IP of this machine. It is connecting absolutely. So I can join this server into rs.add. I'll add with IP here. Okay. 27017. I'm
We
adding
can
that
add
server.
we can add a host entry and can use the server name also, right?
Actually, the cloud machine, we did not do the DNS mapping. It will come with IP only. It does not connect with the host name.
Okay.
DNS configuration is different topic altogether. So we'll divert the topic. So that is the reason I'm just adding with IP. But we'll go with the host names in the real world because DNS mapping will be done there.
Okay.
So now I'm adding this quickly. rs.add. It is added. Good enough. So rs.status. Does it sync? Sorry, status. Okay, it's startup. It won't catch the data, I guess. But let's see. It's not catching it. There is a blocker at the firewall level. Mostly my ISP firewall level. Show DBs rs.slave. did not add the role yet, not in a primary recovering status. What the problem here is, even I faced the same thing in the last batch as well. What is the problem I'm going here? It is added successfully. You see this rs.conf, it added the secondary successfully, the cloud machine. It is able to talk that direction, but cloud machine is not able to talk to my machine because of, okay, let me go here. Let's see. I'll try to make one rule in the outbound. Cloud is not to make it able to make a connection on my machine. Any to any 27017. Okay. Destination side port, this must be open. Just a minute, I'm playing with it. This can be resolvable or not. Let's see, I'm giving a try. Last time it did not work for me. Let's try this time. Adding a port. Port is added. Now on the cloud VM, this is a cloud VM, guys. This is a cloud VM 168 Ravinder. So here on my local machine 1004, what I'll do, if config, sorry, config, what is a public IP? There's no public, all are private. That's a big point here. Everything is private. So how do we get the public IP here? It's natting, it is following the natting. It won't let us to do that then. This was the case in the last case as well, guys. What happens in the real world? So simple, I'll explain. You configure on the on-premise, like a replica set, and you keep the same replica set on-premise and cloud. You add the cloud machines like this with the name, not with the IP. They'll get added, and it just stuck with the primary and secondary startup only. It is not able to do the reverse communication, acknowledgement. There is no acknowledgement because the cloud side, I could open the IP, but the cloud machine is trying to talk my machine back in return. The 27017 port is not opened for the public. Who has to open that port? My ISP have to open. Who is my ISP? The internet provider. I have the Hathaway internet. They have to open that port to make the external call from inside this network. So their routing level, I don't have a control to open the port, but in the real world, it is so simple. I have done many migrations to the cloud. So simple. You just configure the replica set in on-premise. It is already there. In the cloud machines, what you do, you add in new machine like this into the replica set. When it is added, it will automatically become a secondary role here. Automatically. It is not becoming here because of the reason it is not becoming a secondary replica. Secondary is not showing the role because of there is no backward acknowledgement process not going basically. It will happen in the real world. So when this get synced up completely and become the second role, and what you have to do, go to the rs.conf, take it to notepad, give the lower values here, higher value priority, 0.5, 0.5 to all on-premise servers, and cloud server 1, and reconfig. It will do the failover automatically to the cloud machine, and then add 2 more machine in the cloud and remove the on-premise servers. The same data center concept I discussed during the replica set, if you guys remember. We were make the config to 0.5, 0.5, and 1 is actually the 1. Then I reconfig, then the one which is having the high priority is automatically took the primary role. The same concept, we also do the same thing here also to migrate the cloud VM. Just here I don't have network communication. I cannot fix it because my routing, my network routing, I cannot change the ports in my ISP network basically. I don't have that authorization to do. So, but the simple funda here is just add the local on the first to enable the replica set on the local, and the same replica config keep in the cloud also. Replica name SRS1 in the cloud also SRS1. It should match. Then only it will work. Then add the host, and the host will get added. When it is added, it will sync all the data. You have to check this like print rs dot print replication info. We discussed all of this info. This is going to tell you the secondary behind. Sorry, this is oplog slave replication, print slave replication info. So behind the primary, it is not at all syncing. It's behind the primary. These many seconds it is saying it is not syncing, which means the time indicating is not syncing basically. Okay. So if here, this is what you need to look at. Okay, this is synced or not. This value will tell us. If it is synced, it will become 0. When it becomes 0, then go for the config change. Change that config, rs.config, take into the notepad and take the priority other on-premise nodes to 0.5, and the cloud machine keep it 1 only, and reconfig, rs.reconfig, supply that variable. Then automatically cloud machine will become primary. When it cloud machine becomes primary, in the cloud, 2 more nodes added to the replica set, they'll also sync. When they completely sync, take out the remove one by one on-premise server from the replica group. We did, how do we remove a node? How do we add a node in the replica? That way cloud migration will be done. So simple. It is like a data center migration only, everywhere the same concept. No need to worry, nothing much. It's not too tough task anyway. The last topic for us today is what is that? Atlas. Let's talk about that. And this is a wind up class for us today. Sign in for Atlas. Can anyone give details? I have used my details. I cannot create Atlas now. Can anyone, actually I need the email address and phone number, both. So Guru or anyone, can anyone give you, I don't misuse your details. I'll give you the credentials and all. You can practice after this. But anyone, I need just Guru, you're there?
Can we give
Can
our
you give-
personal?
You can use mine.
It's personal only.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can use mine too.
Anyone is fine. So email address.
LATA.K.
anitapt@yahoo.com.
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Anita.
PT, P as in
PT.
Peter, T as in, yeah, at Yahoo, yeah.
Yahoo.
Yeah,
.in or .com.
.com.
Okay. Last initial. P.
It's the T. You can say
T.
T or Telkar or whatever.
That's fine. T is enough for us. I'm keeping the password. I'll share with you separately. You can play with it after the class. What I'm doing it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm keeping some password for it. Fine. Let me retype. Actually, this must be very important to access that cluster. It's a cloud cluster. We are building it now. Come on, just a minute. Right. And it need a phone number as well. That's a problem. It's recording.
Yes.
So yeah.
4 to 5. You want the correct number or any number you can put?
It's correct number. It will send you a message also, I guess.
Okay.
The United States. Right here it is. Job function DBA. Just right. +1. It will start with. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is enough. Country code. Number here.
425.
425.
246.
246.
6413.
6413. Fine. Company, keep it self. Right. It went fine. Accept the terms and conditions. So how do you get this basically this wizard if you wanted to build your own? Go to Google, and type deploy deploy free Mongo Atlas cluster. Click on this and click on anything like deploy a free tier cluster. Click on this and it is asking you to do this. Get build a cluster. Come on, where it is? Fine, it's not going to give you this. Then pick up the other link. This one you should. All right, here it is. Sign up or start free. I'm just clicking on the first link, right? Start free. Then it'll ask you the registration, the same thing. Your company and your email ID, first name, last name, phone number, and the same thing here also I'm doing it at the moment. Okay, that's how you get it. It's simple anyway. Signing up. I'm signing up. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So now it is going to build a cluster for us. I'm going to choose the options and I'm going to explain it. No need to worry. We will take roughly little longer today, 10 minutes extra time. Everybody's joined. Biran is not there today. Fine. The self and the project name. I'll keep it a name here for the project. MongoDB cluster. Just I'm keeping like that. You can give any name, project name, and continue from here. Just what is your preferred language? Keep it default, and then hit continue. It will build a cluster automatically for us. I'm going to create a free cluster. Basically, you don't need to pay anything. Create a cluster, right? This one, free forever. This is our paid clusters. I don't want her to pay. Let's go with a create a free cluster and discuss on that one. With this one, you get some backups and monitoring, two things extra, but we had to pay for it. So that I don't want. Create cluster with the free, starting at free. It is always free throughout the life. It is free. Create cluster.
So it's a
Now when it is,
cluster for monitoring we are creating.
can you come again? What was that?
Cluster for monitoring
No,
or
not
something.
monitoring. It's for enterprise editions only, not for the standard. Enterprise, and you have sharding. You wanted more efficient, like cluster does everything for you. Like it does monitoring, it does all alerts. No host is down, so and so. Primary elected, so secondary, down. Everything it will alert automatically. Inbuilt monitoring. These are for enterprise versions.
Okay,
This
so
will
it will
work
be
with
monitoring our enterprise servers, MongoDB servers.
yes, that's correct. Create cluster. And where you wanted to create cluster, like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, they can create anywhere. I'll go with Azure, and I'm going with the free tier. Free tier means where it is free forever. I'm going to use this, and it will get you 512 MB storage for you, and RAM is okay. It is going up to 512 MB storage. RAM is shared. Shared means anyone can pick up. So I'm using this. This is the one I wanted. Free forever one, right? So create a cluster with this free forever. So there will be no charge at all for this. It will build a cluster automatically. It is building the cluster at the moment. We are deploying your changes. It is doing the cluster build. Once it is built, we're going to see a lot of things. I mean, at least I need 10-12 minutes on this one. Not too long anyway. It's a ready-made. Everything is ready-made. Everything deploys in the cloud. Atlas is a cloud tool. On-prem, there is something called Ops Manager. And functionally, Atlas Ops Manager is absolutely same options and everything, except that is on-prem tool is a cloud tool.
So the data, whatever monitoring data captured gets stored into their cloud service.
Yes, that's correct. Monitoring data will stay there, and it will tell you the graphs, how the CPU utilization, how memory utilization, how many connections are hitting the system, everything it traces. You don't need to run the trace profile or anything for the tools if you have it. Ops Manager, and that works with the enterprise clients, not with the community edition. Community edition, what see, 90% of the servers, in our environment is community, 10% are enterprise. So all discussions have done for the community edition. This is for the enterprise, what we are discussing. So only enterprise will get the rich features, monitoring, automatic backups through the tools and all. It is supported. Community edition is not supported because you are not paying anything. It is free. Why do they allow you to do everything? If they allow you, then you don't go for the enterprise. They don't get the money at all. That's the reason the community edition is equally capable of enterprise, but except this monitoring capability, backup capability, and all that.
So which one is better, Ops Manager or Atlas?
Ops Manager, you have the control where you are taking into your local on-premise machines, and you are monitoring yourself and all. Atlas is a cloud tool. Everything is in the cloud. You create a server, server will create in the cloud. You don't have an option to create in on-premise. You can create and join the server, but when you create from the server from the Atlas, it will build a server in the cloud itself. It's a cloud tool. But what model you are running? If you are running the cloud model, Atlas is a good thing. If you are running only on-premise solution, then on Ops Manager is good to manage it.
Okay.
Atlas is a paid service, right? Sorry, it's enterprise
It's paid.
mode.
Oh, it is too. Yeah, you have to pay a lot for this, not free. That will be taken care by your company if they are moving this solution. It's not our decision to move the cloud solution. Client decision, so they definitely pay it for certain important servers. This is building
This
networks.
cloud solution, yeah, this is MongoDB's cloud, right? Not
Right, yes.
like an Azure.
MongoDB. Yeah, but they are deploying the servers in Azure. They don't have their own cloud. They integrated with the third party like AWS, Google, Azure, and all in the background.
The background, okay.
But you do from the MongoDB only. You are paying to the MongoDB company, not to the Azure, not to the AWS. They'll pay in the background.
Okay, so monitoring servers also they create in the another cloud, not in their cloud.
Like in their own cloud where they deploy it, monitoring everything, it will enable it for us. Nothing you have to do, just register server, it monitors everything. Why it
It's
is
like
not connected?
AWS, right? Spin upping a EC2 server.
Right,
It is
equivalent to that. Yes, should be fast. It's taking longer. And it won't take this long. What happened to this? Oh, it is asking get started. Oh, we are. I'm sorry, guys. It is build this. If I go to here, it will build 3 servers. One primary, one secondary. Where is the other secondary? 2 secondaries it will build anyway. Just. Okay, fine. What I'll do, collections, I'll build some sample collections. First, I enable the sample. It's slow. Many people are using it, seems. Load a sample database to work with it. Just click on this. It will build some databases for us. It's loading it. When this is loading, it will take some time. I wanted to connect to this cluster. So how do I connect? So I'm going to make the connectivity. So click on this. What it is doing, add connection IP address. It is asking my IP basically. So what I have to do, choose a method. You click on this. It is picking my address. IP address is, this is my public IP address. How do I know it will pick up automatically actually. Watch my IP address. This will tell my IP address of the machine. 27, your public IP. This is my public IP address. 27.7.51.255. It is adding. I'm adding my IP address so that I can get the access. Then I need to create a user who can access the complete cluster. He'll become the cluster. I'm adding Anita here. I'm going to give some password. I'll give it to her, that password, so she can access it. Right, create database user. Right, connect to the cluster. Choose the connection method. It will build a connect with the Mongo shell, connect with the application, connect with the Mongo shell. This is the URI it is generating with Anita user. Right, I'm copying this and I'm going to give it to her. This is the one she has to use to make a connection from on-premise. So now copied and then close. I don't need this anymore. Now let's go to the security. We are in the security clusters collections. Does it build the sample collections? Okay, it built. Good enough. So simple guys, it was on the security before. If I go to clusters here, this is my cluster. When I click on the cluster, this is my cluster. If you click on the collection, it will display all databases. If I click on this cluster name, it will display the backend nodes. Three nodes, one primary, three nodes. So this URI will always take you to the primary that we discussed during the replication. Mongo URI. This is directly take you to the database. Here you have to use admin database. Now I'm going to connect to this using my Linux machine, my local Linux machine here. It will ask the password. I'm giving her password. Right. Disconnecting. Right. See? And rs.conf. It is a cloud server details. Okay, I'm not authorized. rs.conf is not authorized. Not authorized on my database. Why class error? Just a minute. Anyway, I can do the operations, though I cannot do that rs.conf, whatever it is. So show DBs, you don't have you have these many databases right now. This built all sample databases here. I'll create my own, use lab database. Okay, and db dot okay, test dot insert. I'm building one database my own using Anita account. So here is number one, is name. Right, one record enough. So it will make the database entry show DBs lab. And if you go to that last, you find the database name basically. Under collections, you find all collections, all database, lab, test. See here, it is like a UI tool. It is like everything you can do from here. You can insert the data, you can modify the data. It is like a compass tool. We have called a tool called compass. From there, we can do the same thing. It is equivalent to that. You can create a new database from here if you wanted. The lab is here, test is here. I wanted to modify this collection for some reason. You have the option. See, edit a document. Let me read this one from here. db.lab. Sorry, what was it? Test only. We have one record, only one record. I'm going to insert records from the cloud. I can insert new document. I can do it. So here S number, maybe letter, S name. I'm adding fields. It is a wizard based tool basically. Oh, S number, I kept it. It's one, two. I can define the fields like this. I'm inserting. Okay. A new document got inserted. Now if I go and read from this, the new document will reflect here. See, two documents. So this is a UI based tool. You can do the even data insertion in the cloud itself. You can create the indexes if you want on that. So on which field you wanted to create index, click on this and mention the field name, options like unique and all that, collation. So I wanted to create the indexing on S number, right? S number 1. Review, confine. It is going to build a index on all that. It is created index. Now you go and see that db dot test dot get index. In all environment, you don't see that class. It's rare. This index I just created is number index, right? So, and you wanted to build a new database from here altogether. I can build. What is the database name? CloudDB something. Okay. Collection. One collection is mandatory to have it. What do we call? Lab. Create database. It is creating database. CloudDB, and it has one lab. And if you see the database show DBs, you have that CloudDB, and it has the lab, but lab does not have any data at the moment. You wanted to insert, just quickly. That's number 1. First name Santosh, and insert. That's it. Now you wanted to modify. Here itself you can modify. Click on this. Okay. What do you wanted to modify? Login credential in Atlas. When you are creating itself, it lasts the credential. No need to worry. When you are building it, it lasts the credential. You wanted to create some more users. I'll show how do you create. Right. So plus add a field here, then address US. I'm adding it. An update. I can do the update from there. So click on this. What do you wanted to do this? Copy document or clone document. It will clone one same document, one more in the same. See, clone the document. Delete a document, delete. Copy document, copy, and go to here in a different database, and here test collection, and here paste. How do you paste? Clone copies given. Then why we need to copy? There is no paste. Come on, how come they did not give the paste? Copied. Where to paste here? Oh, is it so? Insert. Is it done that way? Or it is, guys. That's not a good thing anyway. So now this way you can do anything from here. And this is not the important. Metrics is important for us. Profiler is important. So metrics, see, toggle it. You can keep adding the metrics by default. Op counters. How many reads? How many writes? So if you see here, so how many commands? You see this query? You see this updates? How many updates? How many deletes? It is giving this. Okay, in each database. These are the 3 databases we have it right now. And metrics, further connections, you wanted to how many connections you have, connection details, total connections, total 1 connection at the moment, total 11 connection on this one, 2 connections on this one, and logical size, the space utilization. It will going to talk about these many MBs are used and all that. Network IO, how much network is generating. It is giving the complete UI like this out each shard. And if you go to the collections real time, what's going on the Mongo, update your cluster to get the real time currently available. Okay, it will give the live traffic. What queries are taking the most CPU? What queries need indexing? Everything will display on the live data. But this comes with a paid cluster only. It is saying that. Overview. These are our these are our servers. This is a primary. These are 2 secondaries. And profiler by default, it will trace everything. Okay, this is also coming with this one. grade. Anyway, these are advanced, like profiling. All data will show you live data. It will show you what's going on, which queries taking longer, which queries need the indexing, what queries are not following the proper execution plans. Everything it will display. You have to just click on, right click on and deploy it. It will deploy the index. That good it is. And there was a question. Okay, network access we are done. Adding the IP, this IP to make a connection. So Anita, when you wanted to connect like this from your machine, you go to here,
Okay.
add your IP, click on this, it'll open this, okay, and go to your browser, watch my IP address, pick up this IP and load that IP into this one to make a connection
Okay.
and confirm. It'll load and then you can connect and start working from there.
So this is
And
basically like a graphical representation of whatever we did it on the Linux machine.
that's correct. Graphical, exactly. Everything is graphical. It does a lot of things. Like you don't need to do too much of coding and all.
Yeah,
Who
that's what
has
I
done
see here.
right? So you wanted to create some more user security. Like there was a question from Guru. You wanted to add some more people along with you. I have given you the only access. I'm not giving to anyone. But if you wanted to create some other user, you can create a user and give the rights whatever you wanted on whichever the database. Atlas admin, you can do anything on the Atlas side. Atlas admin. Don't make other people Atlas admin. They can come and do anything on your cluster. Not good.
So
So
basically, we can just work on the this graphical user. I mean, on this Atlas thing itself, rather than Linux also. But then we can
see this.
also access from either way.
Right. Actually, this tool is enterprise versions, not for the community edition. What we discussed for the community all, this tool is only for the enterprise. Paid Mongoose, right?
Right.
So here, so now you can connect to this one using this, and it is giving a connection string. You click on this, and replace the admin here, and I'll ping you. Username is there. Password I'll ping you personally. I'll just use the password to connect. Okay,
Okay.
and you click on the cluster. Ops manager is equivalent to this. What we are doing is ops manager, same UI, same wizard. How it is looking, the ops manager also looks 100% same. There is no difference. Okay. Ops manager
Yeah,
is
it's exactly same. Even I have
everything.
opened the ops manager, everything is same here.
Yeah, absolutely same. What you see, what that is on-prem tool, this is a cloud tool, UI, there is no difference. It is absolutely, if you configure, that is why I said, create your own cluster in the cloud and explore it. Explore the options. You get the real-time traffic here. It will display what sessions are going on, what indexing also, what queries need indexing also it will suggest. That's something good. Metrics, all metrics, enable all metrics. So that will give you all the details, what's going on with each shard basically. Collections, it will display everything here, all collections and all database on your servers. Okay, on which cluster you connected, on that cluster it will display all databases, what data it has on each database, it will display everything. Okay, and if you wanted to modify, we don't do modification on it like this. We deployed everything through command only. I deployed, though it is a cluster deployment of data or changes, everything I do it from the command only. I don't do it from the cluster anyway, but you can do it if you want. So profiler is something, it is going to trace all the load and keep the data with it. It is very useful information for us. Performance advisor, this is where you get the index recommendation. Can we take the backup and restore through Atlas? Yes, but that option is not available here.
I
What is
have
that?
opened that ops manager. Every option is visible. If you want, I can share and you can explain.
Oh yeah, yes. I'll just explain. Even I can explain. Uh, this is Lata, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, good enough. If you have it, that's quite good. This is a live tool, guys. So just So here you go to the profiler once.
Is my
So
screen
what if,
completely visible?
yes, it is visible. So no slow queries logs found. So there is nothing is running for longer time. It is not showing. A profiler has some filter. That filter you kept it in the last 24 hours. You don't see any queries which are running for longer time. It seems your system is very good actually. There will be definitely some queries generally. You go to that DB stats.
Yeah.
It seems like you someone did very well. No data available.
No, probably
Statistics.
this is not the busy system. I'll just do that also. So how do I go to all?
Yeah, these are all projects. You don't need to show us the production. Why? Because it's recording.
Yeah, it's not production. It's my.
Okay, okay. You built yourself this?
No. Someone from DBA.
Okay. Go to the performance advisor.
Yeah.
This is where you get a lot of input. See, scanning slow queries and sample documents, and it will tell you what queries needed, like indexes, analyzing indexes and schemas, and it will give you a lot of information here. Calculating the requirement. Still calculating, please. Wait, okay. No index suggestions. So it seems good actually. Database are too good. Who did this? Like, you don't have long running queries. It must be saying that is a good. We could hear a lot of backgrounds. Yeah. So you are the admin. So if you go to the uh, security of your project, click on the project once. Okay. Go to overview. Overview. Yeah. So it's a single share. This is standalone. It's not a cluster. Anyway, which is fine. It's a standalone itself. So these many projects you have it basically. It is created, and all are standalone. These are not clustered. Status, hardware, DB stats,
Yeah.
profiler,
Yeah. Actually, there is
standalone.
one clustered one, but that is for production. Yeah.
Right, right. So it is similar thing. It is similar. It is one day KT. Someone tell you that how you to use it. One day KT is enough to understand this tool. Nothing much to great thing is not here. Why? Because it's a fully wizard based, and someone knows really about this tool. One day KT is enough basically for all of you to. When you get the environment, definitely they'll give the KT. It's usual. Though you're expertise guy or not expertise guy, KT must be given on the ops manager or Atlas, because what they are using, how they are using, and things must be explained to the new person who joined the company anyway. You see this one, connections, get more, insert, update, and caching, cursors, and all these are all coming with the enterprise. I have a limited options because that was actually is a free tier where we don't have all the options, but it tracks all of the DB storage information, queries information, queues, how many are under block, and page faults, like how many data is going out of in and out. So it records a lot of information basically, quite a lot of execution details and memory, cache capacity, what is the cache right now and what is it is being used. Keep add more and more counters, it will display like that. Complete UI based tool, and these are all counters you are adding it to monitor it. What are the things are going on at the moment? What is happening? Nothing is constant, it is dropping down, going up and coming down. So this is something good. There is no load on this one, it's plain. By looking at this we can say that. So these graphs will help us to understand things, how things are going on.
So Ravi, this is for on-premises, right? So then in the Atlas is for the cloud. So if
Yes.
in our environment we have both on-premises and the cloud means
Yeah,
which tool is best? Like
both,
Atlas, I can
both,
connect on
both,
premises.
both, or Ops Manager Cloud, both you have to do it.
Okay,
For
so
on-prem Ops Manager,
I
for
ca-
Cloud Atlas.
so I can't connect the on-premises server to Atlas, right? So like,
Yes, yes, you can connect if you have a network. See, there is something called, can you go to, just a minute, where it is? Can you go to your project once, quickly? Yeah, just go to the project settings. Maybe you have to integrate that VPC network. Project name, project zone, not that one. Networks, where is that networks? It is missing, it seems. Continuous backup. Click on the continuous backup once. That will talk about the backup. The continuous backup at the top.
On the top.
Under deployment, yeah, there. You can configure your own backups, but that anyway charge you for that. There is a charge for every GB you take the backup. So backup is an optional module which has not been configured for the Ops Manager installation. An Ops Manager backup admin, global backup setting. This is Ops Manager or what? Is
This is
this your
option.
local Ops Manager, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
In
you are.
Atlas, we have
See,
not configured here.
yeah, it is not configured. They did not add that binaries yet. So
Hmm.
that must be enabled during in the binary. So this is something, like Atlas, or you don't know what is Atlas, what is Ops Manager. The things are same. There is no difference basically. Things are absolutely same. So this is how it looks like. It is not too tough to understand anyways. Simple tool. Your deployments you can see, and everything is standalone. That is clearly saying that server. Click on the servers. You have only one server in it. The under processor, yeah, server. It will display the complete servers which are involved in it. You have only one server. That server Hyderabad SKV, and that one is configured. Uh, Security here. If you wanted to add some users to access this, go to security and configure it. Some people. There are already people here. You see the root user is configured, and MMS auto admin is by default. It seems no one is added here. You can add if you wanted. MongoDB roles, the roles, default roles, it will display the roles, MongoDB roles at the bottom. Yeah, those it will display what are the default roles, and these roles, whom you wanted to give these roles, you can assign to when you are creating it. These are the roles available. And what do you need to see? That it's simple tool. See, if I show the Atlas, if you are seeing the Ops Manager, there is no difference of much. It will come with a cloud thing that is coming with the host. Your host it is following when it is showing up the URL. Good, Lata. It seems it helped the people basically. It is simple. I am taking back the control. See guys, this is simple. Almost, like you have seen that as the Ops Manager, what Lata shared, and this is Cloud Manager, Atlas. And you just go to your projects. Here are your projects actually. Click on this project, it will enter into your project, and you go to the cluster, and it will display the server, how many servers you have it, and metrics, collections, profiler, everything will be enabled for with the higher tier to upgrade to get all of that. Continuous backup is not showing us because we are not something subscribe to the higher. So if you upgrade it, it will give you the continuous backup and everything. Network access, this should be there, and you just add your IP, and then from that IP you get the access by default. And if you wanted to connect to on-prem servers, you have to add peering with the on-premise network. Build a VPN with the cloud, build a VPN on-premise, at both join it, then both will talk, and you can join the on-prem server in the Atlas. It is possible. How they are doing it matters here. Are they are integrating everything into the cloud Atlas itself? They're separating like on-prem ops manager, cloud Atlas. What they are doing? They have to do this. Okay, it is simple anyway. It's not too tough. If you run into any issues, MongoDB people will help you at free of cost. There will be support, you subscribe, and they'll come and help you in every single point. How do you create a user also, they'll explain you. Go and raise a case with them. I don't know how to create a user in MongoDB. That also they'll explain you like how do you create a user, because you are paid people. You're paid for the subscription also, the support subscription. They'll do every single point, whatever they'll come and configure the ops manager for you. We did it actually. We did not do in the beginning. It was configured long ago. The MongoDB came and configured for us. We just paid for the support. I mean the subscription support. A yearly you had to renew the subscription support. Then they'll do it everything for you. What you are asking, you're not confident of, just raise a small case. They'll come and do it for you on behalf of you. They'll take the remote control and do it everything for you. Anyway, when they're doing it, you have to catch. That's how you learn. Anyway, don't depend on forever on those people. Right, so this is what our discussion, guys, on that last part. So we are done with the Mongo discussions. Okay, I'm stopping the record.